Being a model is a totally different experience.
Let's look at this issue of sexual exploitation. Is it going on in Ghana?
It's there, it's definitely there. You know, this lady has all the qualities to do this job, but for some reason, someone else is taking the job. And
knowing that, okay, she's dating him, he's dating her, so she's on that show. Has it gotten to the point where the models know which girls are doing that?
Yes, they do. These acts of service to these people is bringing them this amount of income. They tend to fall in love with it. And the attention that comes with it, a lot of people flood your DMs events with these organizers, and you can tell,
Yeah, so you see the models going out on dates.
I'm suffering, I'm in debt, I have a lot of bills to pay, and you know, into the industry, they realize, hey, Charlie, it's hard out here. And then they start looking for loopholes. Who are the weaker men? Who are the easiest to sway?
Is she being exploited?
Yes.
Why doesn't one say she's exploiting the weakness, the sexual weakness of the fashion show organizer? Because she's getting what she wants.
And there are also models who exploit models as well. But I found out later on that a lot of models tell lies about shows.
Girls are in his DM sending him naked, nude pictures.
You know, so before you know it, pictures are spreading.
If these guys end up doing anything with these ladies, they'll be told that they're exploiting the ladies.
But rather, they are rather being exploited for what they have to offer.
Okay, guys, so we're back on the Fashion Talk Show. It's Nana Tamakloe here. I'm with male model Agbosu, who's telling us a lot about his lifestyle as a fashion model in Ghana. So give me a summary, like, of how things are from when you are just a guy in your university or your school to how you are now. Like, just put it in a few words.
Well, living and styling yourself is a different experience, and being a model is a totally different experience. It exposes you to luxury. Okay. Yes, I think that's a luxury. It elevates your style. You get to wear outfits that would cost you tens of thousands of dollars to get. It's not rare. You get to wear pieces that have not been released. You get to feel, materials and, art that is not common to the average person.
So it's like a fantasy.
It's like you're living a dream. Exactly. You're living a dream. You get to embody and feel the presence of a person or royalty.
At that moment, you are not yourself. You are who the clothes say you are.
I become a prince. I become royalty. And that feeling is something the average person is not used to. So once you get in there, to feel that luxury, you don't want to let it go.
So why do you guys look angry on the runway?
Angry on the runway?
It's luxury. Shouldn't you be walking like, hey?
Yeah, I think it's the way people, understand what it means to keep a straight face and what it means to be angry. Some people have smiley faces and they think, I think putting up an angry face would help me wear away that smiley face I have. So it depends on who is on the runway and how they, portray. Also, what you think about reflects on your face. So you should try to have a blank thought when you're on the runway. It gives you the most universal look to fit any outfits there. Yeah.
So let's look at this issue of sexual exploitation. Is it going on in Ghana?
Yes.
Okay. Now I'm asking you like an interviewer. This is not an interview, this is a chat. So I know it's going on. But from your perspective, how would you say, like, you're telling someone who knows nothing about the industry, how would you break down to them sexual exploitation in Ghana, in the modern industry?
So it all comes down to pressure and the influence the modeling has on the individual. Like I said, the exposure to luxury. So the average person is exposed to luxury. They then fall in love with it and want to, keep up with it. And luxury is not cheap. It's very expensive. And the average model is a beautiful human being that is not like the average person.
Beautiful girls.
Yes, beautiful girls, beautiful boys. In all, you're not easily accessible. So a lot of people tend to, give you attention. They tend to buy you gifts. They tend to pay a lot. They tend to invest in you just for your presence alone. So when people realize that, hey, my presence is actually,
my beauty is bringing me money.
Exactly.
I'm not raising a finger. I'm just walking and money is falling on me because of my eyes.
Exactly. And the attention that comes with it. A lot of people flood your DMs and be like, hey, why don't we go on this expense paid trip here? why don't we do this? Why don't we do that? And then some people, after realizing that, these acts of service to these people is bringing them this amount of income, they tend to fall in love with it. Some people willingly go into it, others are forced into it. It's
Forced into what? What are we talking about? Like,
the sexual exploitation.
Okay,
some people willingly like, hey, this is life. This has been my life before I came in here. It's not something new. I used to do this with the boys back in the days. If I get extra benefit for it, it doesn't hurt anybody. They willingly do it. Others, are coming from different backgrounds, societies that does not conform with those acts, but they're like, okay, I'm suffering. I'm in debt. I have a lot of bills to pay, and doing these will help me gain.
So there's a model who wants to be or get money from a fashion show. And then there's a event organizer or a casting director. And he's like, okay, do you want to sleep with me to be on the show? And she's like, I need money. She does it. Is she being exploited?
Yes.
Why is the fashion show organizer not being exploited? Why doesn't one say she's exploiting the sexual weakness of the fashion show organizer?
Well,
because she's getting what she wants. The fashion show organizer does not necessarily need her. It can be another model, but she needs him. So isn't she the one exploiting him?
Well, it depends on the situations.
Are seriously out there proposing themselves.
Yeah.
Even not long ago, Wodemaya said that he gets I think it was an interview. I don't want to get the wrong interview, but he said girls are in his DM sending him naked, nude pictures. And that's Wodemaya, a travel blogger. How much more the Reemers and the what? Exactly. And then if these guys end up doing anything with these ladies, they'll be told that they're exploiting the ladies.
But they are rather being exploited for what they had to offer.
I mean, I'm not trying to take away from.
It goes both ways. It goes both ways.
So how prevalent is this in Ghana? Ghana's modeling industry? Is it common? Is it like you're a model, you're in there. Well, give me some secrets without the names. Give me some secrets.
Well, it's there. It's definitely there. It's active. It's around us, but you'd have to be very observant to know what's going on. If you're not very observant, you may not see what's going on around you, but it's everywhere. They're just, when you start to recognize talent over favoritism, you realize, hey, this guy is the best for the job. Why are you using this one instead? This lady has all the qualities to do this job, but for some reason, someone else is taking the job, and, you're like, it's a bit sketchy. And then there are also Snapchat. This is an app where people post what they don't often post on the, main gram and, in private DMs. You get to see some of these people going out on separate events with these organizers, and you can tell, yeah.
So you see the models going out on dates.
If you're in their Snap, you see it. If you're not,
so I organize an event. Why are they not taking me out? Why? Or do I have to take them out?
No, it depends on accessibility. If they're able to reach you, that's it. But if you have, a whole channel of communication they have to go through before they get to you, it makes it more difficult. But if you're, an organizer and you're just out there and easily accessible.
So when you see them on Snap, is it obvious that, okay, these guys are having an affair? Or is it like, oh, they were just at this beach club and this one was there and they went together and they had drinks? Like, what indicates that you're looking at someone who is doing this for success in their modeling career? What indicates that? Like let's get real to the core. Let's say what we've seen without necessarily saying who.
Okay. So a lot of people have been told outside modeling, hey, you should be a model. Hey, you can be a model. They get into the industry and they realize, hey, Charlie, it's hard out here. It's not easy to get the good jobs, to land the big gigs. And then they start looking for loopholes. Who are the weaker men? Who are the easiest to sway? Then, after realizing that the competition is too tough for them, they find these men who are easily accessible. Some of these men throw themselves at the young ladies. Some of them too are relaxed, they chill. They know they'll come because they know I'm the gateway to this. I'm connected to several shows. If you want to, go this and that, you have to go through me. So, yeah, they also do. And there are also models who exploit models as well, because there are models that are, more prominent. they have more influence, and they also have worked directly with some of the show organizers. So they have a say in almost some of the selections. Yeah, some of these models are also exploited. You know, when they see you, hey, you're a hot cake, you're everywhere. A couple of girls, who try to, get to you, and so before you know it, your pictures are spreading here and there, not out there, but within the model community that, hey, this guy has done this with this girl, he has done this with that girl. And then one guy is 20 ladies is a lot.
Because when I was in UK and someone brings up sexual exploitation with models, it was very to the core because living in London wasn't cheap.
Yeah.
And some people are almost out their houses and you're looking at an industry with a lot of money. So when someone came to you and said sexual exploitation, you understood that there were some feeble girls who maybe had no options, they are owing money or this kind of thing. Ghana, we know Accra is expensive. But at the same time too, you can live a very cheap life in Ghana. A compound house or a room or something. So there's no desperation to be rich. I don't know if if you are broken, let's say Nigeria or Togo, your life is going to. In Ghana, some people, I just down this road here, there's one slope, you just see hundreds of people there sleep. No one is robbing them, no one is doing nothing. Ghana, you can be so broke and peaceful. And then you're talking about a modeling industry that doesn't pay so much.
Exactly.
So if you were going to sleep around for money, the last thing I'll say you'll be doing it for would be modeling. Do you get what I'm saying? So I kind of feel like there is partial willingness, like the models are not dying to do it. There's some kind of willingness to, it's not like, oh, if I don't get this modeling job is 300 cities.
Exactly. And they and with the exploitation, they get way more than that.
Yeah, 300 cities, that's like $25. Do you get what I'm saying? So it's like, if you're doing it, then you're just doing it because you really want to be a model. You're not doing it because you're being exploited. Do you get what I'm saying? And that's what I feel. I feel it's like a casual thing. It's not like, and to me, I feel like this is one of the reasons why you come to Accra Fashion Week and you see standards. You see like a certain look. I'm not saying everyone should follow those standards. Different people have different ideas of beauty, but you see certain standards. And then you go to some shows and you see all kinds of girls, fat girl, tall girl, short girl, this girl. And it's like, what is the basis upon you picking these ladies? Because a lot of these shows as well, they're not even having castings. They're not even doing model castings. You just wake up and there's one show in the middle of some government enterprise and boom, all the girls are there. And yes, sometimes they're agents who are using their own models. But then sometimes it's like, what is the basis? Like, don't you want to add some professionalism? Don't you want to add some standards? And how is this viewed upon amongst you models? Like, is it obvious with your model, with the models? Like when you see a show, you know that, okay, these girls are on this show because they slept with, or is it like, we don't know, but we think? Is it very obvious to know the models that are doing that?
Yes, it's obvious to know because when you know someone is good at what they do, when they go for castings, you know the end result of. We can predict at least the first 10 models that will be selected for a casting because we know they've worked very hard. They are good at what they do and their physique is impeccable.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to disagree with that because at a casting, someone might have a different flavor. Do you understand?
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is like not based on prediction, not based on analysis, based on just knowing that, okay, she's dating him, he's dating her, so she's on that show. Has it gotten to the point where the models know which girls are doing that?
Yes, they do.
Okay, so this is not based on some, how did she get the job? This is based on, oh, we know her and that's what she does. Has it gotten to that stage where there's a good number of models that all the other models know that when they see him or her on the runway, we know how she got that job?
There is always a discussion behind closed doors. So the news goes around. If someone has been around the block amongst a few casting directors, or if one casting director has been around the block around a few models, they know within themselves, they talk. So if they see him say no to a particular model, they know he's resenting her because she refused to do this with him. And then, so the word goes around, but it doesn't spread amongst. And just like how there's a community of models who talk, there's also a community of casting directors who talk. And they may not be united, but they have different communities where they talk about, hey, who's the hot cake? And there's just this group of men who cannot fully rely on professionalism, or should I say their etiquette, to be fully professional with the models. And then if after the show, maybe later on they want to pursue, they can pursue. They pursue whilst they're working with the models. And there's this group of people who are also not into that at all. So when they know themselves, when they see you maybe familiarly talking with this particular gentleman, they know, oh, he's taking her one for the team and she's going to go around the block. And also, it's not always with females. Unfortunately, there are
Guys
also
as well.
boys that are also being exploited as
With the women or with the guys, like gay guys, or like, or they do both.
both. And
Chale.
fashion is more dominant. There are a lot of more dominant gay people in fashion than there is before. So yes, there are also indisciplined individuals who, push their fantasies on these young men and women who are just desperate to become, good models, and they fall into these situations.
And so why are you not doing that?
Why am I? You wouldn't know if I'm doing it or I'm not doing it. It's not, I won't come out and tell you, hey, they cracked me. No.
So some of the guys are, okay.
There is a limit to what you do. If you've crossed the line, people will know you've crossed the line. You can't hide it anymore. So there are a few models that, people look at them, the way they started and where they are right now, you're like, sorry, like, yeah. Ghanaians are very observant people, especially straight boys. They are looking for any little mistake. Maybe the guy is saying, then he acts a bit weird. And then people will be like, Charlie, this guy is suspicious.
And then don't you have a situation too where sometimes rumors are rumors? Sometimes some models feel they're top model, they don't get on a show, and then they can create rumors about the organizers and be like, oh, I'm not doing his show because I won't sleep with him, or I'm not doing her show because this. Sometimes you have some, and how do you dispel this from the truth? Like,
I've heard rumors about you. That's how I know there are people who resent you for rejecting them.
Exactly, because I have those rumors.
And I know you have a standard that you're working with, specific measurements, specific height requirements. These are the details you're working with. If you do not fit it, you're not working. And some people come in and they look at it and they're like, is there any way I can walk over this? I'm sorry, but there are a few directors that will let you pass the requirements because you've gained favor from their side. And there are just some that mean business. It's not personal, it's business. If you don't meet the requirements, it doesn't make you any less of a model. It just makes you not right for this particular job. And it's hard to take in. I mean, we're human beings.
Yeah, because you cannot grow tall in 2 months. You cannot grow tall. So you just have to accept. And they don't want to. They don't want to hear it. They want to go home and tell their model friends an excuse why they're not on a show. And that excuse, the only excuse they have is, I didn't sleep with her, or I didn't sleep with him.
That's ignorance.
Yeah.
Because you should know that in the fashion industry, there are shows that specifically go for plus size models. They will not take skinny models. And you think, oh, I'm a skinny model, I'm high fashion material. Why am I not being selected? You won't be selected because you don't fit the requirement for that show. And some shows also have themes that they use. If your face does not, your physique or characteristics do not fit a particular theme, you won't make the cut.
So how do you differentiate between the girls who are literally real, they didn't do a show because this person didn't date them, and those who are just rejected and looking for an excuse? As to how do you know which is which?
I do a research. So if they go for a particular casting, they're like, oh, this guy was biased. He tried to, do this with me and do that with me. And I look at who you are. I look at your page and I look at the page of the runway and the team they are running with. If it doesn't match, I know you're lying. Because the facts are there. You can't tell me you fit for this show. Where would you fit in? How would you fit in? They would collapse the entire look of the franchise if they appear there. So it won't work. You won't sell. Imagine, high fashion, people are doing bikini, and then you've got very, very slim bikini, and then you've got a plus size woman wearing a very, very skinny bikini. It will be too revealing. You can't do what the skinny models do. So in this case, you can't walk that show. Period. It doesn't make you less of a model. If you have a more, covering bikini, you can do that because then it's not exposing too much. Because then people would then say they're exploiting you rather for putting you in such a show. Because then at the end of the day, you're basically naked. And that is not what we're selling. We're selling outfits, not body. So if you don't match the theme, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're not good. It just means.
Sorry to even cut you. I just even remembered one experience that I had a while ago. It was like, I think it was before 2020 or after. And I remember there was a girl that I think she started even flirting with me. When she started flirting with me, I knew she had some attempts at modeling, but I knew her as a designer. Do you understand? Because she was also doing some clothes. So being a guy, I was giving feedback. And then I was trying to, meet up. Like if someone is flirting with you, oh, what day can we meet? So there's a lot of that. And we were agreeing to a lot of dates and then missing it because either I'll be busy or she'll be busy. And it kept going on for a long time. And then after a while, it got to the point where I started to think, this girl doesn't actually want to meet. Like this is just some conversation. I didn't even know what the basis of her messaging me was. And then one day it got to a point where she wanted to model on Accra Fashion Week. So all this flirting was going on like early in the year. And so Accra Fashion Week hits around December and she wants to model. And then she asked, can I put her on? And she's not the height. She's about 5'7" or something. You know me and height. She's not the height. So I'm letting her know that, look, the casting directors, when we get you, it's not even going to happen. This girl starts threatening me. I won't say threatening, but like giving some hints that, oh, because I did not meet up with you, you don't want to put me on the show and this, that. I can't remember. It's such a long time ago. I can't remember if she made a comment about, oh, I wonder what people would say if they knew. Something to hint to me that she was going to go public with it. And it's very interesting because I started showing her that, oh, go ahead, put it out. And then I showed her I have all the conversations of you opening discussions with me and complimenting me and all of that stuff. And I just thought to myself, imagine if some of these conversations were on phone or some of these things didn't go so well. She could go and always take screenshots and put it out and say, oh, this is how this person is. And this girl is a short girl and she's done a lot of the main shows in Ghana. And every time I see her somewhere, I ask myself, like, is she running this game on some of these organizers, or is she genuinely getting? I mean, she doesn't do every show. She just ends up on the shows where there are no casters.
Wow. Wow.
And
I mean, that explains.
Yeah. And to me, it just goes to show that sometimes some of these rumors are a bit tinted, they're a bit altered,
They're not fully.
So that's why I was kind of trying to find out, where do you distinguish between those? Because people like that, they are blocking I don't even know the word I'm looking for, but they're making it harder for us to believe who is genuinely, you know what I mean? Because now somebody comes up and says, this is what happened to me. We're going to be like, how do we know you're telling the truth? You get what I mean?
I found out later on that a lot of models tell lies about shows. So when you tell me, hey, this show is bad, this show is trash, they do this, they do that, I need to see for myself. I'll go there, find out what they're doing. And if they don't seem to be honest, there are things you look out for. So when you look out for those things and you see them, they're not very communicative with what they do. They keep you behind closed doors. They keep you in the dark. And then it comes to the deadline and they start pushing things on you. I'm like, yeah, these guys are not up to no good. Because if you're up to good, there's transparency, there's understanding. There's also a signing of memorandum. Do you have non-disclosure agreements where you talk, you reveal certain things you do with them? These conversations help you know that, oh, you're working with professionals. They know what they're doing and they have, certain things they're doing. Oh, I went for a casting. Okay, you said I've been selected for a show. You put me in a WhatsApp group. We don't sign any agreement or anything whatsoever. We do the show and I end up seeing my image on a billboard.
There's a lot of that.
There is no agreement for me to be on a billboard. That's a lot of exposure. And it comes with, when there's exposure, there is demand for a person's presence. It means I need to move more securely. Now I have no knowledge my billboards are out there. And then people are moving to me and like, hey, is this you here? I could be harassed. I need to be aware of all these things. So a lot of shows that don't, go through the right processes before they use models, it's a bit, intriguing.
So I think that's one thing that I need to add before we move on. Models. When you shoot or you go anywhere, anybody who takes a picture of you owns it, even if you pay for it, even if it's your birthday shoot, the photographer owns the pictures. So make sure anything you do with the photographer, you need to sign a contract if it's yours. If you are going to model on a show, make sure you're fully aware of the MOU. In Accra Fashion Week, we let you know that any pictures taken of you by our team is ours and we can use it. However, some people won't let you know this, so make sure you understand your terms before you do anything.
FashionGHANA.com.
TV.
I came to slay you.
100%
African.
fashion.